With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Hey, what's going on? This is Tyler with Black Diamond Softball and Fitness, and we got a brand new episode of the Foul Pole to Foul Pole Daily Show. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you guys for sharing this stuff. It's been a really good run this year as we wrap up the 2023 season. And the 2023 year, I did want to touch base on some of the rule changes that have been made and will be implemented going into next year. So I know there's a lot of states throughout the country that play their high school ball during the spring. So these are some of the rules that will go into effect. The main one, the biggest change I think that has, really had the most impact, if you will, is the new pitching rule. So beginning next year, pitchers in high school softball will be allowed to disengage both feet from the playing surface if the pivot foot is not replanted prior to the delivery of the pitch. Previously, the pivot foot was required to remain in contact with the ground. So that's the number one change, I think, across the board. You still cannot crow hop, meaning you can't, leap out, replant, and then push off again. Both feet can be disengaged. The ball has to be released either at or before that foot comes in contact, and then that's going to be a timing thing. The umpire, if the coaches or the whoever wants to challenge the pitch, there has to be a clear replant for them to call an illegal pitch. So leaping is allowed. That's according to the director. Seriously, the board members got together. They talked to membership holders, and the rules have always had a little bit of flexibility in them to accommodate the different skill levels of high school athletes, and the change really allows for the exploration of different styles of pitching during the student athletes developmental stages. So what they're trying to do is to, lack of a better word, get with the times really, and try to get everyone under one umbrella of the rule set so that everyone's playing the same way, from whether it's little league into travel ball into collegiate ball. They're trying to get everyone on the same sheet of music, if you will. So I think that's a big thing for the game. You have some leagues will allow you to start with 1 foot behind the rubber. Some you can start with both of them on and then step back and then go. I think the more we get to everyone playing under the same set of rules, the better, because you have so many different tournament sanctions and you got different things that are allowed, everywhere you go. So one girl could get accustomed to pitching a certain way and it's approved and it's allowed. And then all of a sudden now she's playing in a different tournament or different sanction and she has to change her mechanics because what's allowed somewhere may not be allowed somewhere else. So I think this kind of helps with that. Another rule change that it really affects baseball more than softball. You don't really hear too much talk about electronic devices when it comes to the game of softball. I haven't seen anywhere where it's approved where the coach can transmit the signal to the catcher via app to wristband or headset or something like that. Now in baseball, of course, you see it in the MLB, electronic devices are used, but the way that Rule 1-8-6 reads is it now permits electronic information to be transmitted to the dugout from anywhere outside of the live ball area. This reflects current technology and still requires that electronic devices are used in the dugout, but no longer stipulates where the video is recorded or how it is transmitted. So there's really no clarity on the technology for transmitting calls and stuff like that, plays, and like what you see in baseball. So a couple of things coming down in the future, one pertaining to the uniforms. Now, the beginning of 2027, softball uniforms may display only the player's name, school nickname, or school mascot. Nothing, they're going away with, it seems like, sponsors and that kind of stuff. Additionally, the uniform change for the 2024 season was approved, which clearly defines what can be worn on the head consistent with the rule sets. So there, you can't have a whole bunch of flashy colors and that kind of stuff. It has to sort of be uniform with what you're wearing. Also, I think one big thing for a lot of players is where the wristband has to be worn. A lot of girls like to wear it on their belts. I guess they see college girls doing it, or they whatever. The wristband has to be worn in a specific way. So Rule 3-2-7 clarifies where wristbands or the playbook cards are attached and can be worn. The equipment is only permitted to be worn on a player's wrist or arm. Pitchers must wear it on their non-pitching arm. So it clearly prohibits that you wearing it on your belt. It's something that's always been a sort of a pet peeve of mine, is, where these wristbands and stuff are. As a coach, I want it to be uniform, but I also want the player to be comfortable too. So they've set out some rules, and this is it.
Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
There's always talk about, a tacky surface or something to help girls gain a little bit of, control over the ball when it's wet or dry, or the hands or whatever going on. So there's been a couple of different things talked about in regards to substances for drying agents. So Rule 6-2-2 specifies that dirt is not considered a foreign substance and does not have to be wiped from the hand prior to contacting the ball. So we see a lot of girls that will rub the ground, pick up the ball with a handful of dirt. That is now legal. It's nothing, it's not rosin or anything like that. Acceptable use of drying agents under supervision and control of the umpire includes powdered rosin and any comparable drying agent. So as long as it's approved by them, there's rosin bags and that kind of stuff. The rocks are really sticky. That's what I see most of the time. It kind of gets questioned, but the girls need to be able to hold on to a ball. It's just like when you see, listen to MLB pitchers talk. They're not trying to gain an advantage. Most of them, I'll say majority of them, not trying to necessarily gain an advantage over you. They're trying to have control of that baseball. And the batter wants that pitcher to have control of the baseball too. They don't want to be standing in there facing, 105 mile an hour fastball and the pitcher has no idea where it's going. So I think anything that gives the girl a little bit more control, just like the Major League Baseball guys of the ball, helps. So with that, there are a couple of different, I wouldn't say variations to rules, but everywhere you go, it seems like there's different rule sets with the sanctions wanting to, focus on this versus focusing on that. But I think the best thing we can do is to get under one rule set and play that, because it just sets everybody up to where there's less confusion. There's less trying to game the game, if you will. So I wish, everybody could kind of get on board with these same rules and go with the NFHS rules. Is there, is there times where rules can get exploited? Absolutely. And that's why you always see rule changes. There's always going to be rule changes coming down the pipe as the game evolves, as the players evolve, as the coaching evolves. There's always going to be ways to exploit different things within the rule book. So be flexible. It's always going to be, changes. So I'm excited for the pitching rule to be, put out there for everyone to kind of see it and be like, hey, okay, this is legal now. The crow hop is still illegal, but leaping, you hear it all the time. Well, she's leaping. Well, yeah, it's legal. She's allowed to leap. And you gotta think these girls are trying to learn the mechanics at a younger age. So I think this rule sort of sets them up for success moving forward, to where they're able to continue to apply their mechanics and grow, but also explore what works for them within the rule book. So if you guys have any opinions on the different changes and stuff with whatever rule, what's something that you would want to see implemented moving forward, or what's a rule that is sort of outdated and needs to be, taken out of the rule book? What do you guys think about safety bags on first base in the game? Is that something that we should explore and make mandatory as far as the NFHS? They're high school ball. Some places you see them, some places you don't. It changes the game. In my opinion, it changes the game a little bit for that first baseman and the batter runner. I think it's a safety issue. I like the orange safety bag, but I think there has to be uniform rules across the board. Either it's there or it's not, one or the other. It shouldn't be left up for an option where you have the same league where home games, you got some teams that have them and some teams that don't have them. I think it should either be a rule or not a rule. Either you have to have it or you can't have it, one or the other. I think that's mine. So drop me a note. Let me know what you think should be implemented, or what rule has changed that you wish would go back. Is the step back rule pitching, is that something you want to see go away, or should you have to start with both feet on the pitch and plate? What's something? Give me your opinion on that. So, all right, that's going to do it for today. This is a little bit different episode. I don't really talk about the rules all that much because I don't like to get into the nitty gritty of stuff, because we all play different styles of ball, because we're from different areas of the country, and what we think is the rule set that we play under is the gospel. And of course, we know that everybody has different sanctioning rules. So, this is something that we do a little bit differently from time to time if there's a rule change. And I think right now is a good time to sort of set on that a minute before we get into the spring season for the high school. So if you guys like this type of stuff, like always, man, share it. If you share it with a friend, make sure you tell them you love them.
Purchase new wiper blades from O'Reilly Auto Parts today and we'll install them for free. See better and drive safer with O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Oh, 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 O'Reilly